Hi, I'm Malaika Haining, the founder of Malaika New York, a zero-waste fashion company. And today I want to talk a little bit about what is zero-waste fashion, because I think there's a misunderstanding, or at least people don't really know what it is. They have an idea of what sustainable fashion is, but not really what zero-waste fashion is. And so zero-waste fashion is a way to create garments without throwing fabric away. So, or you could also have another technique would be to use the fabric scraps that's already existing. Simply go to factories that you work with, ask if you can have a look in their scraps, and many times those scraps are like bundles like this with the same shape. So that's the way to do it. So the way that most of our garments is made is actually based on whatever fabric we use. So let's say the fabric width is 60 inches and we have a garment and many of our garments have the same front and back. Then we try to figure out how can we lay this garment out to use the full width of the fabric. And then also always when we then try to make a shape, like what shape can we make so that we use the whole piece of the fabric. And so we've gone more into squares, which now is more or less what we make garments out of. It's not 100% how it started out, but that's more of the place where we're heading. So we probably went from a waste from around, I would say 10 to 5%, till down to, I would say all the way down to 1% for the current collections, the one we just did for the fall, and then the next one for spring, because we are basing everything on squares and again looking at the fabric width of the fabric. So a way to create a garment and figure out how do I have a piece of fabric that's looking like a square, how is that going to work on our bodies? Because our body is not a square, and we wanted to make sure that it's not just a square that you put on and you look like a piece of Lego. That's not what we're doing. So we're always trying to come up with new ideas to create zero-waste garments. It can be techniques of ways to drape the fabric, like have a piece of fabric, let's say it's 30 inches because the width of the fabric is 60, and you maybe want to cut 2 garments out of that width. Then we take that piece of fabric and we kind of fold it around the body to see how it works. Another way is to just try to place the fabric a little bit in freehand and then put it on the sewing machine, and then make sure that you have holes for your arms and your head and your body to stick out somewhere. And there's also techniques like, we do this a lot actually, where you have a piece of fabric and you kind of fold it over, and on our pattern then we make like a dot, and then whoever sews it then knows that this one here goes here, and then you have like a detail like that right there. We also do a lot with snaps, again to create a garment. To make it fall in the body in a certain way, hug in the right places, and show a garment right here. So this right here is one of the garments that we have made. That's basically a piece of fabric, but then it's formed. You see, of course, there's holes for the arms because you need that. You need a place to put them, right? And then you can see here, it's kind of making a shape on the back. These can be undone. So when you wear the garment, there is like different ways of shapes to it. So you can kind of shape it a little bit how you want. And again, here in the front, again, snaps to close it. But basically it's just a piece of fabric with some snaps put together, engineered around your body. It's difficult to come up with these kind of garments because nobody have ever done it before. So it's not like you can say, oh, I like that shape or type of garment, and then you can reproduce it. No, you kind of have to, every time you do a new design, come up with the technique, whatever you're using. So it's very difficult, but as we get going, it gets easier and easier to do it. Not that it's easy, because you're basically trying to drape a piece of cloth around the body and then figuring out how that's going to work. But not only that, but you also want to make sure you keep the same aesthetics within your brand. So you can't just use anything, right? Because you want to have a certain style to it. So there's a lot of elements to it. So just to give an example, I don't know if it's possible to see here, but you can see how the sleeves is kind of angled in at the hem right here. It gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and then bigger up here. That's because your arm are thicker up here and thinner down there. And so when they cut this out, the sleeve, you have a lot of waist because you have this angle on it. And then I came up with this design to make a sleeve from a square. So basically it's a continuing shape from the body. And then you just have, so you can see this is more or less a square right here. The only thing that makes it less of a square is this right here. So as I said before, we tack it. So that's a technique to do it, to control the square and to make it hug the body or to make a shape of it. So instead of cutting the material away, we are keeping it within the garment. So we don't throw that in the landfill. So like 99.9% of the whole fashion industry is a traditional, is creating garments traditionally, which means that they are all throwing out somewhere in range from 20 to 30% of waste. And we need to move away from that. But it's very hard because it takes a lot of skills to create garments out of squares or to figure out a way to create garments with new techniques constantly. And it takes years to do it. And there is only very few brands that do it. Whenever you find zero waste designers, make sure you go support them because that's really the way we need to go. So for us, zero waste is the most important thing because I feel like that's, what everyone should focus on. But of course, also materials is very important. And in the beginning, we were not as focused on materials as we are now. And whenever we see an opportunity to do better, we do better. We look at materials, look at all the aspects. When we ship a package, it's biodegradable. The packing material is biodegradable. And there's just so many ways to look at it. Like if we have the limited scraps we still have, we ask the factories to put in a box and send them to us. And then the scraps are then being either donated to quilting societies whenever we can find a good cause or somebody who can use it, we give it away for free. You can use the small scraps for kitchen rags, wipes, again, and they can be washed. It's really high quality organic cotton, so why wouldn't you, right? This here is a zero waste pattern. As you can see, this is a square, and again, of course, we have to make room for the body. So we have a circle up here, that's the waist area. But other than that, it's actually a square, as you can see. And then we also have, so this here is again a square. This is the waistband. And so that's it. That's all there is to it. And I want to show you how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. So basically this is a skirt. This is something something very new. It should be for spring and summer. It's a lightweight, very soft, organic cotton, and so see if I can somehow show that it's a square right here. And then the way that this one was made, this was created with a sewing technique. So this is not just the square, but it's actually shaped. So first here, you sew together the two squares up here, like so, and then you fold the fabric and then sew it again to create this shape down here. So this here is just the last piece I'll show you. Again, this is for spring, so it's not out yet, but it's just the collection we made with completely only with squares, so I thought I'll show you. So you see over here, this is a square, this is a part of a square, and then down here it's shaped, but it's a little hard to show you. But yeah, so that's a square. It still, you know, falls kind of cute on the body. So this is all that I have for today. And I hope that zero waste would be something that you would look for in the future. There is very little brands out there doing it. I just put a blog post on our website, which is malaikanewyork.com. I'll also put a description below for that, just to give an idea what is a zero waste designer look like. I put some bag designers, us, and two other designers that I think you should go check out and really value. Whenever you see a zero waste designer, go support them. And I know it's an investment, but you get high quality, you get something that will last you for decades to come. So it's really all about investment and cost per wear. You have to look at it that way. But yeah, I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next week. Bye.